Guys, time is the only resource that we can't get more of. And I want to commit as much time as possible to putting out content that helps more people just like you. The only way that I can do that is if you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Please give me feedback and help me help.
One that we had to come up with a seminar last night is about the spouse in the house, what to do with them if one of them's retiring, but one of them still has a year and a half to, what are the options available? I got to ask that question.
All right, Rob, come sit right here. Okay. That is, don't worry about that. Okay. All right. Now, Rob, that's all well and good here, but I'm struggling with something. My wife of 38 years has been on my group plan the entire time I've been working. And now I'm going to retire. Okay, I'm going to retire because I've earned my retirement, and I'm happy with this Medicare stuff you're talking about. It looks good. Any doctor, very little out of pocket. It's not costing as much as I thought it was. But I have a dilemma, if you will.
A dilemma.
Okay, what's happening is she's only 63 years old.
Right.
She can't get Medicare.
Sure.
Okay, she's healthy as a horse. But, you know, we don't want to just leave her hanging out to dry for 2 years. What am I supposed to do? I start calling around. Blue Cross wants, you ain't going to believe this, $1,100 a month for her health insurance plan. I ain't going to keep on working, but I mean, I had to consider it just to keep her on the health coverage.
Sure.
What the hell am I supposed to do?
Right. Well, Mr. Justin, that's a great question. And the good news is we have a lot of our clients that have been in similar situations like yours, and there are some viable options and some affordable options for you. Let me ask this. You said your wife is about 63. Is that correct?
That's it.
What about health-wise? Any major health conditions, anything that may be going on like COPD or diabetes or any challenges with cancer, any heart situations?
Well, let me tell you this.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. We went in the other day, and this doctor told her if she is any healthier, that he would have to become a poltergeist and take over her body.
Okay.
But she does take a few medicines.
Okay.
She does take a few
And
medicines.
is that for like blood pressure, cholesterol?
Lisinopril.
Okay. For blood pressure.
For lice.
Yeah.
She takes some of them statins.
Okay. For like cholesterol, like an atorvastatin.
Cholesterol.
Simvastatin.
Right.
Okay.
And she did get diagnosed with the COPD.
Sure.
Last week.
Okay. She got COPD. All
as
right.
well as the metformin. They put her on the metformin for weight loss.
Okay. Some of our clients call that the sugar pill, so I understand.
She needs that for the weight loss. She weighs about, don't tell her I told you this.
I won't.
She weighs about a tree fitty.
Okay. All right. Well, it seems like with that information, the best situation for her is going to be the Affordable Care Act. And so what I'd like to do real quickly...
Wait a minute, is that Obamacare?
It used to be called Obamacare, yes, sir.
Okay.
But it's the Affordable Care Act.
I've heard all kinds of things about Obamacare. I don't know. Some people say they're getting charged back a whole bunch of money.
Sure. And that is true to some cases, but what I like to tell clients that have those reservations about Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, Mr. Justin, is that a lot of times it's the agent didn't advise them correctly. So I want to make sure I advise you correctly and put you on the right plan so you don't have those issues or challenges. So the way that I start with that is, what is your zip code, Mr. Justin?
38862.
Okay, so 38862. She's 63 years young. Does she do any form of tobacco whatsoever?
Nope.
Okay, so
she's not in 6 months.
Okay, and then one of the biggest factors that's involved in order for me to give you an adequate quote here is to deal with income. I know you're retiring, and most of the time when you're retiring, your income drops a little bit. Between you and her, what would be your projected income for this year?
Well, we're doing pretty well.
Okay.
I've been saving now.
Okay.
I got a 401k.
All right.
With $375,000 in it.
Okay, well, we can definitely talk to you about that.
Is that going to hurt me now? And I know with Obamacare, they ain't going to give me nothing for free with me being rich like this.
Well, they are not going to give you anything for free. That's exactly right. But what I do want to do is just see what the best option would be with them. And here's why, Mr. Justin. Because of diabetes, if she's on the metformin, the sugar pill, and because of the COPD, a lot of the standalone carriers outside of open enrollment are not going to underwrite her and take her. And so, or if they did, some of them have clauses in there that will make you wait a year before they'll even cover any pre-existing conditions.
Okay, now, is it going to be expensive for me with me having that $375,000 in a 401k?
It's not going to be expensive for you with the money in the 401k, but are you currently, or what are your plans to draw the money of the 401k? When are you planning to do that?
I just don't. It's been doing so well. I'm afraid to leave it in there, and I'm afraid to withdraw any of it too. We don't need it,
Okay.
We're getting on Social Security, and then she's got a little pension.
Okay.
We're getting about $3,500 a month.
Okay.
In income, and we can live off that, no problem.
Okay. So the good news is if you're not drawing any income off of it, then you're in good shape. But I do need to make you aware that if you do have a financial advisor that you work with or your accountant, you do need to discuss those options down the road. And all we're really looking at is 2 years here. In 2 years, she'll be Medicare age anyways, and then we're just going to transition her over to a Medicare supplement plan, just like we're fixing you up with today.
Yeah.
All right. And
now,
so
Paul's.
Okay.
Just so you guys can see, like, the cool thing about an ACA conversation is it forces you to ask about income and assets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more 401ks are uncovered for rollover potential in the ACA market than they are in Medicare. Now, they have the potential to be uncovered in Medicare, but ACA forces the conversation for you. And people that do ACA get a lot more comfortable asking about income because you find out people don't really care to tell you.
Yeah, you should have charged $5,000 for that nugget, because that's a nugget. Because a lot of people stay away from ACA because they think there's no money in it. And what you just said is worth getting into ACA.
Yeah, ACA is not, like, for some reason everybody thinks it's just broke asses, but a lot of times it's just people that are retiring and they have a couple of years before Medicare, so their income goes down, so they qualify for a high subsidy, but they're not broke, they're just retired.
Well, and it's a great funnel to go into Medicare, but you were talking about the high price. I mean, like last night, there was 2 couples that I talked to. Just for one, it was $900 to $1,200 a month for their COBRA or standalone plan.
And ACA is probably $200, $300 a month.
Mm-hmm. But even if they had an extremely high income, they're still only looking $600, $700, $800 sometimes, which is still less than just with that. So
So if you tell somebody tells you they have COBRA and they were going to go that route, just make sure you capture a bunch of that savings, because if they were already going to do it, that means they could technically afford it. Mm-hmm. Now, you want it to be significantly cheaper than $900 a month, but if they have that much additional money, it's a great time when you're saving them $600 a month to go down to ACA to talk about life insurance or other things that now they probably feel like they could afford, where they probably felt like when they were going to have to pay $900 a month for health insurance, they wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah.
So, okay, and we're going into you talking about the income and coming up with a price, and try to cross sell with it, or talk. Let's maybe hit on that evolution of that conversation.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Justin, once again, just so I can be very clear here, and I want to make sure that I get you the exact quote that I need to get you. Are you saying probably about $35,000 to $40,000 projected income?
Yep.
Okay.
About $39,000.
About $39,000. Okay, so about $39,000 here. So it looks like, with medical and your RX, and I do need to stop here and ask you real quickly, on your current plan for your wife, does she have dental and vision in that plan as well?
Yes.
Okay, so she has dental and vision in that plan. And let me ask you this before I give you a final quote here. Any other extra services that are in that plan that you have for her through your work?
Not right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking here for your full medical, your RX, your dental and vision. I'm looking here about $400 a month.
Okay. And that's going to cover all of her statins too?
That's going to cover all of her drugs that she's currently on. And remember, just to recap, because you're coming off of this group coverage, you get a special enrollment period, which just simply means they're going to take her as she is, regardless of the COPD, regardless of the metformin that she's taking and all the other things. And so she can be covered right away as soon as we get her on this plan. So there's no waiting periods, nothing that will be held against her. But the thing I need to check real quickly before we go that route is, which doctor are you currently using for her? Or does she go to multiple doctors?
His name is Tom Jones.
Okay, well, Mr. Justin, I'm going to check on here real quick. It looks like Mr. Tom Jones is in the network, so that's good. And I know you said she had COPD, so she currently seeing a pulmonologist?
Not yet. Tom has been pretty good to her. It's
Okay.
It's just a touch of it.
Okay, just a touch of COPD. Well, I'm sure that this plan does cover a touch of COPD. I promise you, it's a good plan for
Good.
you. So we're looking at about $450 for everything. That's your dental, that's your vision, that's your medical, and your RX. And when did you need this to start, Mr. Justin, for her?
April 1st.
Okay, April 1st. I'm going to put that in the system. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is get her fixed up on this plan for April the 1st. And what I need to do is get some information. Do I just need to get that from you, or is she by the phone where I can talk to her real quickly?
She's right here. She's been listening the whole time.
Oh, well, great.
Hey!
Hey there, Mrs. Brock, how are you
I
doing
like
today?
the sound of that!
All right. Well, good. I just need to get some information from you because I want to go ahead and make sure you don't have any lapse of coverage and make sure we get you on this affordable plan for you starting on April the 1st, okay?
All right.
Okay. Now, how am I going to pay for this? They just going to bill me?
Well, that's a great question, Mr. Justin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up automatically for you, so that way you don't have to worry about it, because I know you probably got a lot on your plate, especially contemplating retirement. So I'm going to get this set up automatically for you.
You mean like on a bank draft?
Yep, on an electronic situation.
One time we had cable on a bank draft. It was a HughesNet.
Right.
You ever dealt with those assholes?
I've heard a lot of horror stories about Houston.
I couldn't get them to cancel that bank draft. They just wouldn't cancel it. 6 months later, they're still paying for it. I just don't know if I like bank drafts. I've been trying to stay away from them my whole life.
Well, and I understand that, Mr. Justin, and I do have some clients from time to time that feel the same way. The main reason that we like to set everybody up on those situations is simply because we don't ever want you to forget about the premiums. And I'll give you an example. I had a client that this happened to recently. He got 3 months behind because he didn't check his bank account and he didn't set it up on bank draft, and they almost canceled his insurance, and it caused him a lot of stress and anxiety. And he told me, I wish that I would have just set it up electronically. And so that's one of the main reasons why, because if anything was ever to happen, we don't ever want that to lapse on you by accident.
Okay, put it on bank draft.
Okay. And so we'll go ahead and get that set up. So let me go ahead and, while we're talking about bank draft, let me just go ahead and get that information from you. What is the bank that you use for these type of situations?
Regions.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ask for that, since he brought it up and he's on the same team with me now. I'm not going to wait to the end because while he's hot, I'm going to go ahead and ask him for it and put it in the CRM.
065-305-436.
Yeah. So, all right. And so then I'll go through the application.
065-305-436.
Yeah.
That's a region.
Yeah.
That's the right one.
Yep. Okay. And all right. Well, I appreciate you helping me with the health insurance. I'm heading over to Merrill Lynch right now. I got an appointment with them.
Sure. And can I ask real quickly, Mr. Justin, what are you going to talk to Merrill Lynch about?
I was just going to give them this $375,000 you didn't ask about.
Well, no. Here's what I would say. Well, Mr. Justin, I will tell you before we get off the phone, we exclusively offer financial services to those clients of ours that have insurance and Medicare with us. And so if you'd like a second option or a second opinion, I definitely would like to sit down with you and give you some viable options to help you.
Well, I sure hate to spread all this out. I didn't know y'all did that.
Yes, sir, we do.
Well, hold on just a second. Merrill Lynch, cancel my appointment. Click.
Yeah.
I just need one opinion, Rob. What the hell do I do with this money? No. So anyway, the ACA, market, and we won't get into like the actual annuity pitch, but the ACA market is a great place to find those rollovers. Like a lot of times when you wait until somebody goes on Medicare, you have missed out on the rollover because they did it at 62, 63. Just what we see a lot, anybody that gets a financial advisor, they're gonna start trying to hedge them out of their money earlier than 65, hedge them out of the market a little bit, a good one, I think some of them want it in the market or whatever, but a lot of these guys can't afford the next big downturn for, to sit on their money for 4 or 5 years. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for having me back. I will try to, answer more questions if you guys ask more questions. So see you soon. Peace out.
Bye.